tournament.
Zarek Musselman's bunch has punched their ticket into the round of 32.
On the road to the Final Four with the Hogs is brought to you by Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort Sportsbook, Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, and Big Red Stores of Arkansas.
Arkansas is going to the Sweet 16.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Asmus for the Elite Eight. Arkansas has won.
Now, here's Drew Barrett and Ty Richardson.
And welcome into Arkansas Game Day. I am Drew Barrett as I'm live here in Buffalo, New York at the Draft Room at 97 Perry Street, right across the way from the Key Bank Center, where in an hour and 40 minutes we will have tip-off as your Arkansas Razorbacks take on the Aggies of New Mexico State. Plenty of Razorback fans here. There's an Arkansas pregame event going on. I see about 50 or 60 fans here. Just finished calling the Hogs not too long ago as they get ready to watch their Razorbacks take on the Aggies. Drew Barrett, Ty Richardson here with you for the next hour, leading you up to Chuck and Z's pregame and then into the game itself. And we would not be here if it wasn't for our incredible sponsors like Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort Sportsbook, the best way to bet on tournament action all March long at Arkansas's only casino resort. Big Red Stores, never pay full price for gas again at your neighborhood Big Red Store with Big Red Rewards. And, of course, Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. Over $1 billion in proceeds have provided 650,000-plus scholarships for Arkansans everywhere. So thank you to all of our great sponsors for allowing us to give you all the best coverage live here in Buffalo, New York. Ty, it was a little bit different of a game than what we thought it was going to be on Thursday. We both thought that it was going to be a runaway game for Arkansas. We thought it was going to be a fast-paced game. We thought Arkansas, and led by J.D. Note, of course, was going to, get the pace going, was going to use their speed and use their high-powered pace to counteract the slow-it-down half-court game of Vermont. But that really wasn't the case, and it was a game that Arkansas kind of felt like they were on their heels all night. Luckily, free throw shooting came in big for Arkansas and hurt Vermont at the end as Arkansas was able to get the 4-point win. So before we get into this Aggies game, kind of what was your biggest takeaways from the round one matchup against Vermont?
Well, I'll do what Eric Musselman did at the top of the press conference and give credit to the Catamounts because they deserve it. Ben Shungu, Ryan Davis, that whole team came to play. And despite several times it looks like Arkansas at 7, 8, 9 points with the lead was going to pull away, they just refused to give in and relinquish to the Razorbacks. They fought to the bitter end. Even in one of the final possessions where you have J.D. Note, the ball comes off his head, it goes out of bounds. Luckily, the Vermont player hit it out. I'll just start there and give them credit again for fighting and battling and clawing with the Razorbacks. Arkansas had a chance in several different places to make it and stretch it, but weren't able to. I think that tonight could be a bigger deficit, a bigger win for Arkansas, but I think on Thursday night scared them a little bit, and I don't think they overlooked Vermont. Vermont's just a team that is of quality and would give, I think, a good number of teams trouble in this NCAA tournament, Drew.
Yeah, they definitely would. I think that if they were matched up against any other four seed, they probably would have won. They were a great team, played sound, fundamental basketball, right? You talk about fundamental team basketball. If you want to know exactly what that looks like, look at Vermont. Now, if you want to know what the opposite of that looks like, look at New Mexico State with Teddy, quote-unquote, Buckets Allen and what the Hogs are going to face tonight. But back to Vermont, the slow pacedness of the game, I think it just hurt Arkansas so badly because they couldn't get into the rhythm. And when it came to J.D. Note, it took him a while to get going. It took him a while to kind of get into his play, finding lanes to the basket. Now, obviously, you had a heck of a performance, one of the best performances all season from Devo Davis, who, just somehow always knows how to step up under the bright lights of the NCAA tournament. And, you ask some of his teammates like Trey Wade yesterday in the postgame, or in the press conference yesterday, really, what is it about Devo and the NCAA tournament that gets him going? And, Trey was honest with the media and with everybody saying, honestly, we don't know. he's just really good in postseason. And you hope that Devo continues to play that well tonight. You had a great performance from Stanley Amude, who was 3 or 4 from beyond the arc. And JD did end up getting his points. Now, Jalen Williams, though, I mean, obviously the number 2 guy on this Arkansas team, didn't have the best game. And I look forward to seeing how well he turns it around in game 2.
Jalen and JD have not shot the ball well from a percentage standpoint, not just Thursday night, but the last couple of games. JD was able to get to the foul line and stuff. He has not found his long-range jumper, which I think maybe not is the biggest key in tonight's game, but you're going to have to make some threes against Gonzaga with Drew Timme and Chet Holmgren that are going to be waiting for you in the paint, assuming that you get by New Mexico State and the Aggies tonight. And for Jalen Williams, it's not like he's playing without confidence. He's also just got to knock down some mid-range and long jumpers as well. He's played well. JD has played well, but you expect him to take it to another level. If it was not for Stanley Amude and Devontae Davis, this team does not win. And that's why Tommy was so harping on, well, the matchup 1 and 2, Shungu and Davis outplayed JD and Jalen. But here's the deal. The 3, 4, 5, and 6 for Arkansas, Vermont didn't have an answer for Stanley Amude and Devo Davis off their bench. And that's why those guys, not just tonight, but maybe in future games, are going to be important. And for a guy that's never played in an NCAA tournament, did it look like Stanley Amude, Drew, had never played a game? Because it looked like he was cool, calm, and collective in most of the shots that he was attempting on Thursday night.
No, if you would have asked a random person who just watched the game, had no idea who Arkansas or Stanley Amude was, you'd have thought that Stanley was an NCAA veteran, that this would have been his 4th year at the tournament, that he's probably played in 8 or so games because he just looked so comfortable. I mean, when you shoot 6 of 11, like I said, 3 for 4 beyond the arc, perfect 6 for 6 from the free throw line, and a Hog leading 21 points, you would think that he does this year in and year out. And that was kind of a question mark going into the game, was how are some of those guys, like Stanley Amude, like Adis Toney, like Trey Wade, who haven't had that much NCAA experience as your Jalen Williams, Devo Davis, and J.D. Note had. How would they be able to step up on the center court stage where it's win or go home? It's survive and advance mentality, and I think all 3 of those guys did step up pretty well. Trey Wade only had 2 total points, played for 18 minutes, but I think the 18 that he gave you was solid, because when it comes to a player like Trey Wade, it's not what he gives you on the offensive side. It's what he does defensively, what he can do to shut down different players of the opposing team is why he gets, 18, 25. Heck, we've seen him play up to 34-plus minutes this season. And that's why he's out there, even though he probably, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would guess he averages, somewhere around 8 points a game, if that. So all these different guys gave you what you expected from them, and I think more to kind of make up for what you lost from JD and Jalen, and Stanley, of course, stepped up at the number 3. We're going to take your calls and all of your thoughts on the Vermont game, on what's going to happen here tonight against New Mexico State, who's going to be guarding Teddy Allen, how's this game going to match up. Taking your calls, your texts, 877-377-6963. And we're going to preview more of the New Mexico State game, coming up here as the show goes on. But just any final thoughts from Thursday's game and kind of what you can take away from that to improve on tonight?
I think you saw in several games, not just that day, but the last couple days, that the tighter it gets, the butts become clinched for the higher seed. And Arkansas looked a little tight at times, where we're still able to pull away. You didn't see that from Kentucky. You didn't see that from Iowa. You didn't see that for some of the other teams that managed to get victories on Thursday, Friday, and then today. That has to be something that continues, because Drew, Arkansas plays a lower seed again, a team that's playing with confidence after they just beat UConn, and they're getting a free shot at Arkansas tonight. Arkansas is the one that's expected to win, that opened up as a 6 or a 6.5-point favorite. You hope if this game comes down to the bitter end that Arkansas plays free, they play loose. They definitely were able to close it out on Thursday night, hopefully we'll see something similar.
Hopefully we will. 877-377-6963 to get in here, your calls and texts on the Arkansas Game Day Show as we got you live from Buffalo here at the Draft Room right across the street from the Key Bank Center. And we'll take a break. On the other side, we'll talk more about this New Mexico State matchup right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
On the road to the Final Four with the Hogs is brought to you by Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort Sportsbook, Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, and Big Red Stores of Arkansas.
On average, someone wins with a scratch-off game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery every 1.3 seconds. That means by the time I'm through talking, more than 23 people will cash a winning ticket. And it just might be this one.
The new multiplier tickets are here with top prizes from $5,000 to $500,000. So look for the ticket with the X.
Get your ticket today. It's time to play, scratch, and win. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Live racing at Oaklawn is back, and it's bigger than ever.
They're off.
With more race days and more ways to enjoy them, starting Friday, December 3rd. With a new luxury hotel, more dining options, and world-class thoroughbred racing, this season is like no other. Book your escape, buy your seats, and make your dining reservations at oaklawn.com today. Oaklawn, Arkansas's only casino resort. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
This is Arkansas Game Day live from Buffalo at the NCAA Tournament.
On average, someone wins with a scratch-off game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery every 1.3 seconds. That means by the time I'm through talking, more than 23 people will cash a winning ticket. And it just might be this one.
The new multiplier tickets are here with top prizes from $5,000 to $500,000. So look for the ticket with the X.
Get your ticket today. It's time to play, scratch, and win. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
At Claimaxi Premium Pre-Owned in Fort Smith, we're taking a cue from our pal Jalen Williams by taking charge and bringing you our A-game in-store and online. Plus, we made finding your next game-winning vehicle easier than ever with ClaimAxiFortSmith.com. You can view every premium pre-owned vehicle available all in one place. So don't get caught traveling. Visit Claimaxi Premium Pre-Owned right here in Fort Smith and ClaimAxiFortSmith.com.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Hey, where's the rest of the beer?
I'm probably out unless you clowns brought some.
Well, I've already had 3. Who's going to get more?
Order it from your phone.
From where?
Sody's delivers.
You mean where my girlfriend gets her wine and those cheese plates?
And if you don't want to drive, that's where you can order it. My free beer is gone.
Sody's now delivers inside Fort Smith city limits. Just order from mysodys.com or download the Sody's app and order from your phone. Sody's Wine and Spirits. Experience different.
Law's Drug is open and ready to safely care for your family. Law's Drug is open 6 days a week and has an easy-to-use drive-thru to pick up your prescriptions or any of their over-the-counter medications or supplements. Or let Law's Drug deliver your medications for free to your home or business. Law's Drug, since 1950 at 6802 Rogers Avenue, behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe and a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review. Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Carco Auto Sales takes great pride in serving Fort Smith, the River Valley, and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years, offering a variety of quality, late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. The friendly and knowledgeable staff can help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Carco Auto Sales will purchase your vehicle as well. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. Check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. This is Arkansas Game Day live from Buffalo at the NCAA tournament.
Eric Musselman's bunch has punched their ticket into the round of 32.
On the road to the Final Four with the Hogs is brought to you by Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort Sportsbook, Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, and Big Red Stores of Arkansas.
Arkansas is going to the Sweet 16.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Asmus for the Elite Eight. Arkansas has won.
Now, here's Drew Barrett and Ty Richardson.
And welcome back to Arkansas Game Day here live at the draft room across the street from the Key Bank Center. The Arkansas Pep Band, Hog Wild Band, was just here, as you probably heard as we were going out to break, because they were playing the Arkansas fight song, giving the fans here a warm welcome and getting them hyped for the tip-off, which is set to go in about an hour and 20 minutes. Drew Barrett here live in Buffalo. Ty Richardson back at the studios as we are getting you ready for Arkansas versus New Mexico State. 877-377-6963 to get your opinions, your calls, your texts on the Arkansas Game Day. Also, don't forget to watch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. So, Ty, this matchup here against New Mexico State, I think the easiest place to start is where everyone in the national media has started. And that's with Teddy Allen. And I think I talked about it. I know I said it on Ruskin and Zach yesterday, but even the national media that is here in Buffalo has taken a liking to Teddy Allen. I mean, we had the AP reporter ask Eric Musselman, not what do you think about Teddy Allen? He came out flatly and said, what do you think about Teddy Buckets? And, yeah, it's a great name. It's a cool nickname. And, yeah, he had 37 points. Yes, they beat UConn. But it's a lot of selfish basketball. I mean, like I said, if you want to see what team basketball looks at, you look at Vermont. You want to see what AAU basketball style kind of looks at, you look at New Mexico State. Now, that's not always a bad thing because New Mexico State Aggies, they have a player like Teddy Allen that can take over a game. And Eric Musselman even said that he thought it was pretty cool. He thought that he gave props to New Mexico State's head coach and to their teammates for being so selfless to recognize a hot hand and to keep feeding him. So he has the ability to go for 37. He also has the ability to only go for 15. I mean, this isn't a guy that's guaranteed to light you up every night. He gets hot a lot, but he can get cold. What are your initial thoughts on Teddy Allen for the Aggies?
Hog Dog texted in about Teddy Allen that Arkansas should rough him up a few times, see how cocky he is after he has to pick his butt up and climb out of the second row. I don't know if I'm necessarily trying to force him out of bounds, Hog Dog, but maybe be physical with him and try and get him off screens, get him off a rhythm. What Eric Musselman's done since arriving in Arkansas is when certain guys start to get hot, and I think about Sharif Cooper at Auburn, Scottie Pippen Jr. at Vanderbilt, he just sends doubles. He said, someone else is going to beat us. And most of y'all listening probably can't name another player on New Mexico State outside of Teddy Allen. And that's fine because that's not your job, but that's the guy you have to lock into. That's the guy you have to hone into on. And I guarantee you Eric Musselman is going to have a variety of ways to try and contain and combat him and make life difficult on him. We saw what LSU did to J.D. Note in the second game of the season. It really frustrated him. It frustrated Arkansas's offense. I think Arkansas can employ a similar strategy with Teddy Allen. He's going to force shots, if I had to guess. And if he's chunking 30 fall-away fadeaways, I like Arkansas's chances tonight, Drew, to pull away with the defense that they continuously have been playing.
Yeah, I do too. Now, for anybody who is interested as a second option for New Mexico State, because we talked about with Vermont, their 1-2 punch, obviously Arkansas with JD and Jay Will as the initial 1-2 punch. Second half of that 1-2 punch for New Mexico State, that's Serge Abari Rice, who can get going. I think he averages north of 14 points a game, and he's also a good second option for New Mexico State. But this game really is going to go through Teddy Allen for New Mexico. If they want to have a shot, they want to be able to pull off another upset like they did against UConn, he's going to have to go for 40 points. Now, good news for Arkansas, they are one of the best defensive teams in the country. They are able to keep high-scoring offensive guys below their average. They are able to keep high-scoring offensive teams, below 70, 75 points a game. So who do you think is going to take the blunt of the grunt work that is guarding Teddy Allen tonight?
I think it's got to be Audice Toney. That's who Eric Musselman usually matches up on a certain guy. And they'll switch. They'll have different people on him. That's what Arkansas can afford to do with three guys at 6'6", Stanley Amude. I doubt Trey Wade guards him that much, but you'll see Stanley, you'll see Audice, you'll see J.D. Note, you'll see Devontae Davis. You'll see a variety of guys on him. Jalen Williams is going to have to get him if certain switches and situations present themselves. I look at New Mexico State and a team that's outside the top 300 when it comes to taking care of the basketball. Arkansas was not able to force Vermont into many turnovers on Thursday night. I think they'll be able to force the Aggies into some mistakes, and that'll get them some easy transition buckets, which you didn't really have any of that on Thursday.
No, you didn't. Vermont is a very good team when it comes to controlling the basketball and not giving up stupid, silly little turnovers. New Mexico State, on the other hand, they definitely can and probably will turn the ball over. It's all about how does Arkansas really take advantage of that. You're going to have to see a line in the box score, especially in the first half of, all right, how many points off of turnovers do you have? I think if Arkansas can, in the first half, can have north of 12, I think that's a great sign. That means they're getting steals and they're capitalizing on those mistakes, because when you have a team that turns the ball over but also has a team that can, score at will, like New Mexico State, it's all about capitalizing when you get those opportunities. If they can have north of 12 turnover points in the first half, I think you're feeling pretty good about the score, feeling pretty good about the trend that this game will be going. Now, speaking of turnovers, we saw Stanley Amude do something that I believe, I want to say Bob said that it hadn't been done. I think Mike Kaywood backed him up on this, that Stanley is the only guy for Arkansas to play 40 minutes of a basketball game and not have a single turnover, which is incredible. And you saw Arkansas be able to take care of the basketball as well. That's going to be a key piece for the Hogs tonight, is to make sure that they don't have silly turnovers, that they take care of that ball.
Another key, and Clay Henry, the publisher of Hogs Illustrated and Whole Hog Sports, is listening to us, is keeping Teddy Allen off the free throw line. Vermont struggled in the second half of the ball game to keep J.D. Note off the free throw line. Allen can get to the rim. He can shoot it. You've got to stay solid in your positioning down low, whether it's J.D., whether it's Audice, whether it's Jalen Williams. You can't allow him to get to the line, knocks down some easy buckets. I'm going to pull up his free throw percentage in just a sec, but that's going to be also a good part. He's shooting 88%. That's top 60 in all of college basketball, top 10 in his league. So you can't afford to put him on the charity stripe because he's going to knock those free throws down most of the time. Good text, Clay.
Yeah, I appreciate that helpful hint there, Clay Henry. And, when it comes to keeping Teddy Allen off the free throw line, that also gives another big key to this Arkansas game of keeping players out of foul trouble, right? You had Stanley Amude, Devo Davis, Jalen Williams, and J.D. Note all finish Thursday's game with 4 fouls. If you're playing with 4 fouls, as JD does, as Devo or Jay Will or Stanley did on Thursday, against a guy like Teddy Allen, he's going to take advantage. I think Vermont kind of let that part of the game slip by them. They didn't take advantage of attacking Arkansas the way they probably should have, especially the 4 out of the 5 guys out there that had 4 fouls. I think Jalen Williams finished the game with only 2. But when you play a guy like Teddy Allen and then a number 2 like Jabari Rice, how does JD and those guys stay out of foul trouble? Because New Mexico State does like to attack the basket, and it's been such a problem for Arkansas in the past.
You don't reach. Couple of JD's fouls late in postseason or a couple times is him just reaching or being out of position. He's a really good on-ball defender, and I know he's got those highlight blocks. He's got those highlight steals, and those are great. And if he didn't make that play in the Auburn game, the Tigers walk out of Bud Walton Arena with the victory. And there's some blocks that he's made this season. He's blocking Keon Brooks at 6'7". JD runs about 6'1". So he is a incredible athlete, and his fitness level is unlike a Razorback basketball player that I've seen in quite some time. Just gets after on both ends of the floor, but occasionally he's sloppy. Occasionally he takes a bad shot on offense, and occasionally he picks up a chippy, dumb foul on defense. But you take it because of everything he provides. So stay sound. Do your best not to try and go for steals you have no shot of getting, which occasionally he does. Because if he's on the floor the majority of the game, if Jalen Williams is on the floor the majority of the game, I just don't see how New Mexico State, unless Teddy Allen goes off for 40+, which I think Musselman will do a good job of deterring, I can't see them walking away with a victory tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're going to talk way more about this New Mexico State matchup on the other side. We're with you for about another 34 minutes, so if you got a comment, you want to call in and talk about this game, feel free to do. We'll take your calls, text 877-377-6963. Also, if going to read some of your Facebook and YouTube comments on the other side. But I am live here at the draft room across from KeyBank Center, getting you ready for that matchup, and cannot thank our sponsors enough: Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort and Sportsbook, Big Red Stores, and Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. Your texts, your calls, and more Razorback basketball on Arkansas Game Day here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
On the road to the Final Four with the Hogs is brought to you by Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort Sportsbook, Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, and Big Red Stores of Arkansas.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Hey, where's the rest of the beer?
I'm probably out unless you clowns brought some.
Well, I've already had 3. Who's going to get more?
Order it from your phone.
From where?
Sody's delivers.
You mean where my girlfriend gets her wine and those cheese plates?
And if you don't want to drive, that's where you can order it. My free beer is gone.
Sody's now delivers inside Fort Smith city limits. Just order from mysodys.com or download the Sody's app and order from your phone. Sody's Wine and Spirits. Experience different.
Late-breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until you get something done. Yeah, I know the game is on, but the faucet is still dripping, the toilet keeps running, and the drains won't drain, and on and on. You need to call West Arc Plumbing and let them do the dirty work while you enjoy the game. Call them at 646-5151 and watch the ball game without the West Arc Plumbing, 646-5151.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe in a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan. How can I help?
Hey, Jan. Say, is now a good time for a new Toyota?
You bet it is. Now through April 4th is the perfect time to shop for a RAV4, Tundra, Tacoma, Corolla, and more.
Amazing. I was just thinking of a RAV4.
Well, imagine yourself in a RAV4. Where would you go first?
Okay, I've just got my RAV4. I am picking up my friends and going out to lunch to celebrate.
Perfect. A bistro? A deli?
Skinny Al's Barbecue.
Whoa, okay. I love barbecue.
Huh. Well, then you should imagine yourself digging into the best ribs you've ever tasted.
I'm imagining you inviting me.
My imaginary self thought you'd never ask.
Let your imagination run wild at your participating Toyota dealer. Whether you're imagining yourself in a sporty Camry, versatile Highlander, or the spacious Venza, now's the time to ready, set, go get your Toyota today. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. This is Arkansas Game Day live from Buffalo at the NCAA tournament.
Zarek Musselman's bunch has punched their ticket into the round of 32.
On the road to the Final Four with the Hogs is brought to you by Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort Sportsbook, Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, and Big Red Stores of Arkansas.
Arkansas is going to the Sweet 16.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Naismith for the Elite Eight. Arkansas has won.
Now, here's Drew Barrett and Ty Richardson.
And welcome back to Arkansas Game Day. Drew Barrett here, Ty Richardson back in Fort Smith. I'm here at the Draft Room, 97 Perry Street in Buffalo, New York, getting you ready for Arkansas versus the Aggies of New Mexico State. 877-377-6963 to get in here with your calls and your texts and your predictions about this game. Do want to thank our sponsors once again, Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort Sportsbook, the best way to bet on tournament action all March long at Arkansas's only casino resort. Big Red Stores, never pay full price for gas again at your neighborhood. Big Red Store with Big Red Rewards. And Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, over $1 billion in proceeds, have provided 650,000 scholarships for Arkansans everywhere. Thank you all for your support and for allowing us to be here in Buffalo, New York, to give you the latest news and break down everything going on in the NCAA tournament. On the Facebook and YouTube, which you can watch us via our stream channel, Rag says that if Williams doesn't start taking it to the hoop and following his shot, Note 2, we're going to keep it close. And that's a big thing. I mean, Jalen Williams has to get going tonight. It's got to be one of those games where you see Jalen kind of can take over the game, both the defensive side and offense. You know, you'd like to see him take a few more charges tonight, be the prime time to do it, especially when you're playing against a guy like Teddy Allen, who can be somewhat out of control. If you can get the position right, I think it's an easy opportunity for Jalen to take some more charges. Also, he does need to, get to the hoop. But also, if he can get that mid-range jumper back, the Hogs are going to be really hard to beat with Jalen playing at 100%.
Yeah, if you look at Jalen's shooting percentage these last 4 games, he has not gone over 40%. The last time he shot over 40% was against LSU back on the SEC tournament. So again, he needs to shoot the ball a little bit. He knows that. There's no one that knows that more than Jalen Williams, but you'd like to see that clip come up. He has not shot the three-point ball as well as he had at the beginning and kind of the middle of conference play. You'd like that see that area improve as well. He's getting looks. It's not like he's taking bad shots. Anyone that's watched Jalen play this season knows that he's not a high-volume shot taker. He's going to take the efficient looks and the good attempts. They just been having him knocking down. I don't know what the issue is. Confidence doesn't seem to be an issue because he's still taking the shots, but you would like to see his percentage go up a little bit, and I think it's going to at some point. If they get go, what's impressive to me, Drew, is Arkansas was still able to find a way to win that game without J.D. Note and Jalen Williams having their best performances. I mean, you have Jalen Williams had 13. He ended up, I think J.D. ended up with 17, so they combined for 30, which is not that bad. That's pretty good for most Division I athletes when you look at a star-studded duo. But I think Shungu and Davis both had 20, didn't they? They combined for 40, so they outplayed them, the two straight up. I think that Arkansas, with that that two-man punch and the other pieces, I think they can outdo Teddy Allen tonight. And maybe Teddy Allen finds some guys. I don't know if this is a comparison like Danny Manning and the Mannings. Everyone knows that team that I think beat Arkansas 92 or 91, whatever it was. Again, that's before my time, so y'all might have to help me out with that. But that's
for mine as well.
Yeah, certain teams have one player that can do it all. Teddy seems like a guy that's going to take a lot of contested shots, doesn't always look for his teammates, so make him take contested shots, and if he beats you that way tonight, so be it.
It does raise the question, and we've had this question raised a lot of times when Arkansas plays a team that is led by one primary guy. Normally, it's been, down low people going against Walker Kessler, Oscar Tshiebwe. Now, Teddy Allen plays a lot faster and a lot different style of basketball. But when you played against those guys that look to be first-round talents, guys that look to be future NBA stars, and I don't know if I want to put Teddy Allen on that list. He's had a good season, had a great game against UConn, but I wouldn't look at him as being a next superstar at the National Basketball Association next season. But do you, and when you played Oscar Tshiebwe and you played Walker Kessler, you kind of took away the other four and you kind of let them do their thing. You said, you know what, it's going to be hard to stop a talent like that, so let's make sure that he has no supporting cast, that he has no help on the outside, that he has nobody else that they can go to. And that's what Arkansas did, and it was a recipe for success. But with a guy like Teddy Allen, it feels like it has to be the opposite of that, because I think that was UConn's game plan going into Thursday, and we saw the results of that and how that all turned out.
Jacqueline messages in on YouTube saying maybe Devo David picks it up. And that's the luxury that Eric Musselman has. Devontae, Audice, JD, at times Stanley, they're all going to be matched up on Teddy Allen. Now, Teddy's got a good frame. He runs about, I think, 6'6", if I remember looking at his composite correctly. So this is a guy that has some length and has some scoring ability, and he's about 212 in size. So he's a big physical kid that plays the guard position, and sometimes when you have those 6'6" guys, it's harder. But that's the nice thing about having Trey Wade 6'6", Audice Toney 6'6", Stanley Amude 6'6", Devontae Davis 6'3", 6'4". You've got some bigger guards. I know Chris Likes does not fall into that category, but you've got some pieces that Eric Musselman and his staff are going to be switching on Teddy Allen so he can't get in a rhythm against one particular guy or one particular defensive set that Arkansas is going to be in tonight.
877-377-6963 to get your text, your calls in. Like JT in Hot Springs, he texts us in. We need everyone to get going and get on a roll, because next weekend we have to be hitting on all cylinders. And that's very true. When you get to the second weekend, when you get to the round of 16 and then hopefully to the Elite Eight, these aren't teams that lucked into a round one victory. These are teams that put back-to-back great performances and probably have been putting great performances together in a long stretch of time throughout the season. So you're not going to be getting a matchup like you're getting tonight against New Mexico State as somewhat of a lower seed, a darling, playing with confidence, playing with nothing to lose, kind of feel like they're playing with house money, no pressure whatsoever, you're going to have a different feel next week if you are able to advance the round of 16 in San Francisco. And I think one of those guys that you feel like you need to at least get back to an average game is Chris Likes. And Chris obviously didn't have the best game, didn't play that many minutes on Thursday. It is tonight where we see Chris Likes turn it back on and give Arkansas the productive minutes that he's been known to do throughout the season.
Chris has been a guy this year that you've seen transition his role. He went from anytime he got in the paint, he was going to shoot the rock no matter what. Now he kicks it out. Now he finds guys. He's a good, willing passer when he wants to be. He got some open looks against Vermont. He just wasn't able to knock him down. When he's hoping, most of the time I trust him to hit the shot, especially if it's in transition or something of that nature. Chris's deal is if he can get into the paint, kind of like Devo, if he gets in the paint early and gains confidence, either making shots, getting by his man, or kicking it out, that's what you want to see continuously throughout the game. If he gets knocked down, if he misses his first shot, I think he loses a little bit of confidence. And I think that Eric Musselman and his staff lose a little confidence keeping him in there because they feel like he's really valuable on offense. And he's made some defensive plays. We saw the play he made against LSU to close out that half to put them up 29-26. But being at his size and stature, he's going to get taken advantage of in certain situations. So to kind of offset his defensive liability at times, he's really got to pick it up on offense. We saw him do that in certain games like LSU. We've seen it do it at points this season. And as a senior, as a grad transfer, you hope that his biggest games come in March, especially in this round of 32 game tonight, so you can advance.
Definitely need to see Chris Lake step up. And on the other side, I want to bring up a guy that we didn't get to see on Thursday, Kamani Johnson. We've seen him play important minutes. We've seen him, be an energy guy off the bench. Did not see him against Vermont on Thursday. So we'll touch that and more and close out Arkansas Game Day on the other side. And do want to just thank our credible sponsors. Once again, I cannot personally thank them enough for allowing me to be here in Buffalo, New York. Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort Sportsbook, the best way to bet on tournament action all March long at Arkansas's only casino resort. Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, over $1 billion in proceeds, have provided 650,000 plus scholarships for Arkansans everywhere. And Big Red stores never pay full price for gas again at your neighborhood Big Red store with Big Red Rewards. 877-377-6963. Last segment to get your calls, your texts, your predictions as the Razorbacks get set to take on the Aggies of New Mexico, and we'll talk about it next on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
On the road to the Final Four with the Hogs is brought to you by Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort Sportsbook, Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, and Big Red Stores of Arkansas.
At Climaxy Premium Pre-Owned in Fort Smith, we're taking a cue from our pal Jalen Williams by taking charge and bringing you our A-game in-store and online. Plus, we made finding your next game-winning vehicle easier than ever with ClimaxyFortSmith.com. You can view every premium pre-owned vehicle available all in one place. So don't get caught traveling. Visit Climaxy Premium Pre-Owned right here in Fort Smith and ClimaxyFortSmith.com.
Now, maybe more than ever, you should get your very own Big Red Rewards card and start saving money at the gas pump today. If you grab a cup of community coffee or your favorite fountain drink on your way to work and get another to cap off the day on your way home, you're going to save 50 cents a gallon each week. And chances are, when you get those drinks, you're going to pick up a snack, some chips, or maybe a healthy fruit cup for later, and that's going to load into your rewards card too. Get control of these out-of-control gas prices now. Get your Big Red Rewards card today.
This is Arkansas Game Day live from Buffalo at the NCAA tournament.
I told you that front tire needed air.
I know, Dad.
Where's the tire iron? I told you, always keep a tire iron and a jack.
I know, Dad. I got it. Roadside assistance is included with my shelter insurance auto policy. It's one of the reasons you told me to get it, remember?
Maybe you do listen after all.
At Shelter, listening to you is what we do best.
Ask Shelter agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
Now, maybe more than ever, you should get your very own Big Red Rewards card and start saving money at the gas pump today. You know, if you grab a cup of community coffee or your favorite fountain drink on your way to work and get another to cap off the day on your way home, you're going to save 50 cents a gallon each week. And chances are, when you get those drinks, you're going to pick up a snack, some chips, or maybe a healthy fruit cup for later, and that's going to load into your rewards card too. Get control of these out-of-control gas prices now. Get your Big Red Rewards card today.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
When it comes to your gas bill, one size does not fit all. So AOG offers many payment options. Did you know you can arrange to pay online with the click of a mouse or pay by phone? You can even sign up for automatic bill payment from your checking or savings account. AOG also has a paperless billing option to reduce that clutter in your mailbox. Of course, you can bring your payment to our 24-hour drop box or to one of many convenient locations throughout our service area. To find a payment option that's a perfect fit, visit AOGC.com.
March Madness is approaching. Make sure you have everything you need for the games by stopping by Four Corks Wine and Spirits. Choose from a wide selection of bourbons and whiskeys, craft beers, and a great selection of the coldest imports in town. Take advantage of the walk-in humidor for an A-list selection of cigars, or enjoy the elegant climate-controlled wine cellar of hand-selected wines. It's all here at Four Corks Wine and Spirits, just past the intersection of Mazard and Zero towards Ben Guerin.
March is here at Frank Rowe Furniture, and it's my birthday month. Since it's my birthday month, I'm having a big sale with hundreds of dollars off savings on furniture. Not only are we offering big savings, you won't pay a dime on sales tax. That's right, no sales tax on cash or finance prices. I'm not done. We are knocking off $25 on all deliveries. In-store no credit check financing, family owned and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture, best seats in the house.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility, 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. This is Arkansas Game Day live from Buffalo at the NCAA tournament.
Zarek Musselman's bunch has punched their ticket into the round of 32.
On the road to the Final Four with the Hogs is brought to you by Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort Sportsbook, Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, and Big Red Stores of Arkansas.
Arkansas is going to the Sweet 16.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Asmus for the Elite Eight. Arkansas has won.
Now, here's Drew Barrett and Ty Richardson.
And welcome back to Arkansas Game Day as we are live from the Draft Room, 97 Perry Street in Buffalo, New York, across the street from the Key Bank Center. Drew Barrett, Ty Richardson here with you as we are less than an hour from tip-off at the Key Bank Center of the Razorbacks and the Aggies of New Mexico State. Arkansas looking to get its 47th overall NCAA tournament victory. 877-377-6963. Still have a few more minutes for your texts and calls. Like Hog Dog, who texts us in his prediction, 68-56. Razorbacks control the field. As said before, take away his supporting staff. Still may check him a couple times, though. So that seems to be the big key, is stopping Teddy Allen. I mean, it's Sir Jabari Rice. He's a good player. He's a good role player. but I don't know if he has the ability to really take over the game like Teddy does. So if you can stop Teddy, you definitely feel really good about it. And before we went to break, Ty, I wanted to talk about a guy like Kamani Johnson, who we didn't get to see on Thursday, and you kind of expect him to be a part of that 7-8-man rotation that Eric Musselman likes to run. Do you think we see him tonight, especially in a game where you're going to need to bring the defense?
I would think that Kamani Johnson is going to play at some point tonight. I think the matchup on Thursday night with Ryan Davis was just a bad one. I don't think Kamani would have been able to stay with him foot speed wise out on the perimeter. Kamani is a banger down low, and he gets you a lot of offensive rebounds. He's the dirty guy down low, which you appreciate if you're an Arkansas fan, because that guy just works his tail out game in, game out. But with Ryan Davis's ability off the bounce, off the 3-point line, and his post-up moves, I think Kamani would have been okay down there. But Davis was just heating up. And if you notice the big stat, we're talking about shutting down Teddy Allen tonight. I know some other guys for Vermont were able to keep him in it, but Davis didn't have a field goal in the final 13 minutes of that basketball game. So Arkansas, again, that's what Eric Musselman and his staff do. They figure out something either during the course of the game or at halftime, and they adjust it, they implement it, and then a lot of times the opposing coaching staff, they can't outdo the simple change, the simple fix that Muss and his staff do. You saw it against Davis. You've seen it constantly since Eric Musselman has been up on campus. Hopefully you'll see an adjustment in the first half and the second half on Teddy Allen, and that New Mexico State won't be able to counteract what Arkansas is doing tonight.
Yeah, that's a great thing about having Eric Musselman on your bench, is that he talked about it in his press conference yesterday about kind of planning for Teddy Allen, and he gave Teddy Allen his props. But somebody asked, "How do you plan to, scout this guy? How do you plan to plan against him?" And he quoted him. He said, "I've game planned for LeBron. I've game planned against Kobe Bryant. I've game planned for Dwayne Wade." And it was just, I don't think it was a cocky thing. I don't think it was a shot at Teddy Allen. I just think it was a comment to show what kind of experience Eric Musselman has playing against the superstars of an opposing team, because Teddy Allen definitely fits that category when it comes to New Mexico State. So Eric Musselman, his staff, they're going to have a great game plan, and they're going to have plan Bs and plan Cs. Heck, they might even have some plan Ds locked, ready to go in case that New Mexico State comes out and brings something different to attack the Razorbacks and see just how the ebb and flows of the game go. 877-377-6963. JT in Hot Springs, he texts us in his prediction, 83-70. He's got the Razorbacks, of course he does. And I would love that score, and I think a lot of people would, because that means the blood pressure staying down. We're not everybody's having to take that heart pill tonight at about 9:30 tonight when it's all said and done.
And it was not that way on Thursday until that game the buzzer finally sounded. I don't think many Arkansas fans were 100%. Now, you were still confident you're going to win, but not 100% confident. This would be a game you'd like to close out early, kind of lean into it a little bit, say, you know what, they're going to win this game. They're up 10-15 with 2 minutes to go, and you can relax a little bit. But New Mexico State, they're playing with confidence. They're playing with momentum. I don't know where you think UConn is in the basketball spectrum right now, but that's a team they just came off beaten by 70-63, I think it was the score. So they're going to want and see if they can pick off the Arkansas Razorbacks. I don't know how many times New Mexico State has been to the Sweet 16, maybe not ever, so that could be another accomplishment that they would love to put up on their mantle tonight, taking on the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I believe they've only made one Sweet 16 in program history. It was back, I believe, in the early 90s, if I remember reading it correctly yesterday. So it definitely, when you talk about this New Mexico State team, and they're playing with swagger, they're playing with confidence, and they're playing with nothing to lose, because, talking to some of the New Mexico State media yesterday, they were talking about how history's already been made. And when you're a program like New Mexico State, and I don't think this is a shot or a jab at the Aggies in their program, but when you win a game, it becomes history. When you're Arkansas, when you hang a banner that matters with a number 16 or lower, that's when history is made. So, Ty, real quick, give me your prediction. Give me your final thoughts on this matchup.
I think Arkansas wins by 8 or 9 points. I don't know if it's into double digits. I think they're going to cover. They weren't able to cover on Thursday night against Vermont. This game is a little bit easier. I think J.D. Notae finds a couple shots from the outside. You see a big game from Jalen Williams. And I think Devontae Davis, I don't know if he'll have the same output that he did on Thursday. You'll see him have another solid game. And Stanley Amude, keep getting him the basketball. Keep running sets for him, Coach. It's going to pay off like it did Thursday night, Drew.
Yeah, hopefully, I couldn't agree more. Hopefully, Arkansas gets off to a fast start. Devo continues to do what he does. JD starts off faster and better. And Jalen Williams, of course, turns it on. And Stanley Amude, keep shooting it, young man. Keep hitting those threes. Arkansas needs it. Thanks you so much to our sponsors, Oaklawn Casino, Racing and Resort, Big Red Stores, and the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. For Ty, I'm Drew. Have a wonderful night, and go Hogs.